Andrew Carnegie once made a bet with a relative. He said, "I can get my 2 nephews to write me a letter, something they've never done before." His friend just laughed. Those boys never wrote to anyone. So, Carnegie sent them a warm, chatty note and casually mentioned in the postscript that he'd enclosed $5 for each of them. The catch: he forgot to actually put the money in the envelope. The nephews replied almost instantly. How did a forgotten gift get immediate results? This all happened in the late 1800s. Carnegie's 2 nephews were young, a bit lazy, and notoriously bad at writing letters. They never replied to mail, never kept in touch with family. Carnegie's relative was so sure of this, he bet him that he couldn't get them to write back even once. Carnegie accepted, but he didn't do what most of us would. He didn't lecture them about responsibility or try to guilt-trip them about family duty. He understood a fundamental rule of human nature: people do want to do what you want them to do. They do what they want to do. If he approached this from his perspective, "I want a letter," he knew he would fail. He had to think from their perspective. What do young men always want? The answer was simple: money. So Carnegie wrote a friendly, casual letter. No heavy-handed lectures, no mention of their poor communication skills, just some warm family chat. Then, in the postscript, almost like an afterthought, he wrote, "P.S. I'm enclosing $5 for each of you, but here's the genius move." He deliberately didn't put the money in the envelope. He sent the letter with the promise, but not the delivery. When the nephews got the letter, they probably read it casually until they hit that postscript. Suddenly, they were paying attention. $5 each, but when they checked the envelope, it was empty. Carnegie had just baited the hook perfectly. See, if he'd actually sent the money, they might have just pocketed it and never replied. But by promising it and forgetting it, he created a situation where their desire getting the money lined perfectly with his desire getting a letter. To get what they wanted, they had to do what he wanted. And what do you think happened? The nephews wrote back immediately, their first letter ever. They thanked him warmly for his generosity and then politely mentioned that the $5 seemed to have been accidentally left out of the envelope. Could he possibly send it? Carnegie had won the bet completely. He didn't persuade, he didn't guilt, and he didn't beg. He simply baited a hook with what they wanted: money, in a way that required them to do what he wanted: write a letter, in order to get it. This is the core of influence. You don't preach to a hungry man about the virtues of fasting. If you want someone to do something, you have to bait the hook with their own desire, not your need. Most people fail at influence because they only think about what they want. But we all a little selfish. We only do things when we see what's in it for us. Carnegie aligned his goal with their greed so perfectly that they felt like writing the letter was their idea. So, Carnegie won his bet and proved his point. The nephews wrote willingly, happily, because they wanted the money. Their motivation wasn't duty or guilt, it was their own desire. He simply positioned what he wanted as the path to what they wanted. Influence through aligned incentives will beat persuasion through moral arguments every single time. Carnegie proved that true influence begins when you want what they want. Don't preach virtue to the hungry, bait the hook with their desire, and they'll do what you want while thinking it was their idea all along.